For over 2,000 years, one book has stood as the ultimate guide to strategy, leadership, and the art of war. The Art of War by Sun Tzu. It's not just for generals. Its wisdom has inspired emperors, entrepreneurs, and modern leaders alike. Here at China Tales, we bring that wisdom to life, not with lectures, but through timeless legends from ancient China. This is Stories of Strategy, learning Sun Tzu through legends. Let the journey begin. Over 3,000 years ago, China stood at the edge of a dynastic shift. The Shang Dynasty, once mighty, was rotting from within. Its last king, Zhou of Shang, ruled through cruelty and fear. He indulged in debauchery, built golden palaces like the Deer Terrace Tower, and filled them with stolen riches. Meanwhile, the people suffered, tortured, overtaxed, and silenced. Loyal ministers were exiled. Corruption spread like wildfire. But far to the west, another power was rising, the Zhou tribe. Its leader, King Wen, was wise and virtuous. He welcomed gifted advisors like Jiang Ziya, a hidden strategist. Under his rule, Zhou prospered. After his death, his son Jifa, now known as King Wu, took the mantle. He didn't seek conquest. He sought to overthrow tyranny and restore justice. But he knew, to challenge a vast empire like Shang, brute force alone wouldn't be enough. He needed strategy and momentum. King Wu trained a disciplined force, small but elite. At the same time, he built alliances with other tribes and vassal states who had suffered under Shang's rule. He spread word of the king's atrocities. One by one, others joined. A coalition formed. A storm was coming. By 1046 BC, the time had come. King Wu led his army eastward toward the Shang capital of Zhou. They met on the plains of Muye. According to ancient records, King Wu led around 50,000 soldiers, a mix of Zhou warriors and allied forces. King Zhou of Shang, by contrast, fielded a force of 700,000, but many of them were not trained soldiers. In desperation, he had armed slaves and prisoners to form a massive but disloyal army. Before battle, King Wu climbed a high platform and addressed his troops. He listed Shang's crimes and cried out,
"We fight not for conquest, but for the people, for justice, for the generations to come."
The army roared, morale surged like thunder, but King Wu did not attack immediately. He waited, and he planned. First, he sent a small vanguard under Jiang Ziya to launch a flanking assault, fast-moving, mobile, and disruptive. They set fire to carts, scattered animals, and created chaos at the edges of the Shang camp. Meanwhile, Zhou drums shifted rhythm constantly, suggesting that a full assault was coming from all sides. The Shang command structure began to wobble. Then, Zhou soldiers called out,
"We fight the tyrant, not the innocent. Lay down your arms, and you shall live."
They hurled wooden placards with carved messages.
"Follow heaven and live. Resist and die."
Slave soldiers hesitated. Some dropped their weapons. Some even turned on Shang officers. Disorder spread like wildfire. Now was the moment. King Wu unleashed his main army. He struck in a wedge-shaped formation. War chariots at the front, infantry pushing from the center, cavalry flanking and cutting escape routes. The war drums beat faster. Soldiers cried out in unison. It was like a flood crashing through a dam. The Shang army, numerous but disorganized, broke within moments. Lines collapsed. Commanders fled. They had the numbers, but not the will. Still, King Wu did not chase recklessly. He left only one road open, the way back to Deer Terrace Tower. There, King Zhou of Shang fled, alone, defeated, abandoned. He climbed to the top of his golden tower, put on his jeweled robes, and set it on fire. He burned with it. The Battle of Muye was over. The Shang dynasty had fallen. The Zhou dynasty had begun. Sun Tzu said,
"In battle, use the regular to engage, the extraordinary to win."
Jiang Ziya's surprise flank attack scattered the enemy's edge. King Wu's main army struck in perfect timing, a blend of standard force and unexpected action. Sun Tzu said,
The rushing water that sweeps away stones is force. The falcon's strike that breaks bones is timing.
Zhou's righteous cause, the drumbeats and the fiery speeches built overwhelming momentum. And when the time was right, the strike was swift and shattering. Sun Tzu said,
The skilled warrior builds tension like a drawn bow, then releases it in one sharp blow.
King Wu held back until disorder consumed the enemy, then launched a fierce and brief full-scale attack. Sun Tzu said,
True momentum is like a round stone rolling down 1,000-foot hill.
Once King Wu's army rolled forward, no force could stop it. Shang's massive numbers meant nothing against a collapsing front. Victory didn't come from numbers. It came from clarity, discipline, and seizing the perfect moment. This was not just a battle, it was Sun Tzu's strategic power in action.